My brother wants to marry a 100 Karen. One night, my brother brings his fiancée and we were having a game night. Well, topics discussed were varied, but then the topic of ethnicity heritage came up. Well, I look Caucasian, but my family is Mexican Puerto Rican. I was raised in that lifestyle. So I politely say, people often confuse my ethnicity all the time. But I was recently told that I couldn't claim that as I am not fluent in Spanish. Well, bro's fiancé chimes in. I totally see where they are coming from. Because if you aren't fluent, then you really can't say that you are of that ethnicity. The comment came from my bro and he said not all of us can claim we are German. Well, she started giggling and slowly raised her hand. To which I then fired back. Oh, I didn't know you spoke German fluently. Her response was classic. Looking totally confused, she said, I don't. She also likes to lecture people about texting at work but refuses to acknowledge her own words when caught doing it herself. I can't understand how people can honestly operate like that. I mean, how deep does the assholery has to run before they wake up? Always remember, Karen can do whatever, but don't you dare call her out on her shit tears of joy. So, let me see if I follow this correctly. My parents were both German. I was born in Mannheim, Germany. But since I don't speak German fluently, I am not German? I feel for you. My Sil is the worst. She is a hoarder, but she has the audacity to lecture me on the benefits of homemade cleaning products. IDK, it's like their brains are broken. These types of people are literally incapable of looking inward. Lol, how deep is the assholery that has your brother wanting to marry this fool? Heck, I'm white and I don't speak my ethnic language either. Oh wait, it's cause my family were punished for speaking a foreign language during the last World War. So racism took my language. It isn't an ongoing racism. Nobody accuses me of not being my race. This is a stupid metric that doesn't make sense if you think about it for more than 2 seconds. Family isn't erased when the decedents move. So, this is Murica. Learn English or you can't claim the heritage if you aren't fluent in Spanish. Pick a lane. Karen. Can't have it both ways. I have to work with a Karen and is also always trying to enforce different rules for herself. Oh, but everyone else has to behave how she wants them to. Does this imbecile believes you don't have an ethnicity, or is she the type to think Caucasian is the default and you not speaking Spanish magically made you Caucasian? Also the nerves of commenting on you not speaking Spanish when her English is so weak she doesn't know what the word ethnicity means. Face with rolling eyes. Let's not even consider that plenty of second-generation immigrants didn't teach their kids their native language thanks to pressure to conform. There were even Supreme Court cases about not teaching students German in public schools. To merely say you don't know it, your identity is erased as bunk. Pure bunk. Isn't this the hypocritical idea? Do as I say, not as I do. I am perfect and everyone else is wrong. It's his choice and his world. You don't have to associate with him and this is your choice. Does it work the other way? Are all those people who speak Klingon really extraterrestrials? Next time, and we all know there will be a next time, make her cry. Op. Tell her she's racist. And run with it. She's only saying that to you because of your skin color. She hates Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. She's trying to whitewash you. You don't have to make sense. Just keep talking until she has a meltdown. If you're lucky, she'll refuse to be in the same room with you ever again. Was born in Korea. Both parents Korean. Came to US when I was 3. Do not speak Korean. Speak impeccable English. No accent. All I have to say is that I was Korean before it was cool. Now you have to learn German just to troll her. This is when you whip out Sprechen Sie Deutsch? She's your brother's fiancé if she's a girl. That is, fiancé is masculine. But of course, there's maybe that to it. Make sure not to volunteer to do anything for the wedding. I'd be tempted to tell him outright that you will not be going. People like her live in their own Karen world. You live in the real world. That's why you'll never get along. Ethnicity is complicated and no one should tell others how to identify ethnically. However, I can't help but feel something is missing here. Your brother's comment was in response to her comment, correct? So how does that make sense? Did he think she spoke German? I would have said, oh, then you can relate to not being able to claim your heritage. Do you plan to learn German so you can claim your heritage? Inserts wide eyes with batting lashes. This is because Hispanic means Spanish speaker and is not a genetic thing. This doesn't apply to other languages. Hispanic is a category that claims people by language usage. I see what she is trying to get at. You want to raise them on that heritage, but yet you don't speak their language. Are you going to learn your roots and speak your native language to them? You can't say you're part Mexican if you can't speak the language? Who are these people? My grandma was born in Germany. I don't speak German fluently. I do know a few words. Apparently I'm not German. Huh. I'm part Czech, part Hungarian, part Romanian. I look like my Czech-Hungarian grandfather as much as I look like my father. I don't speak neither of these languages. But I do feel as it is a part of my identity. BTW. An Hungarian friend also said that my goulash is the bomb. Not trying to defend this Karen's point. But as far as I understand it, English is a branch off of the German tree of languages. I bet you were born in the USA though. If so, you're not Puerto Rican or whatever, you're American. There are Americans that can barely speak English. Are they not Americans, then? Not a Karen, she's just a little dim. OBV or Mexican PR. We are the culture we grew up in. I mean, who is the Karen here? You are picking really meaningless fights with your brother's fiancé. That's what it means when you fire back words at someone's date during a family game night. You are fucking your relationship with your brother because you can't control your temper. It's the most Karen thing a Karen would ever do. And you'll blame her. Oh, I would have pressed it and made her feel stupid. I don't. So you don't speak German, but claim German as your ethnicity? That completely contradicts what you just said about me and my situation. This is worth a post? This shit wouldn't even cross my mind after the fact. Who gives a F? Reddit is full of softies always bitching. Language is important. So I gotta ask, if you wanted to be any ethnicity, you just have to learn their language? My parents are Indian. I don't speak Urdu. I speak French fluently because I learned it in school and university. Does that mean I'm actually French? Damn, your bro is F lol. Sounds petty both sides. Enjoy the time you get with your brother. None of us are perfect. I was born and lived the first 15 years of my life in New Zealand. Am half Maori but can't speak it fluently. So am I half white and half nothing? They recalled liberals. Something tells me you probably shouldn't make a hand-raising gesture to signify you're German. She's ignorant. Ethnicity is real whether you know the language, the stories, or the culture. I have a really dark saying about my own ethnic group. It's basically inferring, if the racists care enough, then you're one of us. He's marrying her, not you. His choice. He's all growed up. He is big boy. That being said, maybe she gives a helmet. Men have put up with so much more for a whole lot worse. Just saying. Shit. Based on this Then no African American is black because they don't speak the language from the part of Africa their ancestors were from. This is just stupid. The countdown to break those two up has started. Unless you want your brother to marry stupid. That is. Puerto Ricans are the most racist, judgmental group I ever lived amongst. Completely obsessed hating Americans although they enjoy all the perks. Obsessed with everyone speaking their original colonizer language Spanish like it's their own from the start. All the while collecting government assistance and border control so they don't descend into lawlessness like say a Haiti from. Yes, you guessed it. America. I don't know the situation but it sounds like a far cry to call her a Karen because all Puerto Ricans call all Americans Karens. And tell the people she cares about are proactive in gently holding her accountable. She won't ever feel the need to work towards being better. I like how you called her out. Maybe she'll think about it. If not, hopefully other people stop enabling her and hold her more accountable in a way that promotes personal insight. Did she ask to speak with your manager so you could be fired? Once a Karen, always a Karen. So sorry she's going to be you, Sil. If anything happens, I'll vouch that you were at my house all night. Face with rolling eyes. That's just cruel. I'm sure you know and live this already. But for those who don't know, many immigrants chose to not teach their children their native language as a way to help them integrate into the dominant culture. Props to you for learning your ancestors' native language. Reconnection is important and beautiful. Sounds like Karen only knows how to speak asshole, so you've got one language up on her. Is your brother of the same ethnicity as you or is he a hell step adopted etc. sibling? Is she denying her own fiancé's ethnicity and heritage as well? Also great comeback about the German language hypocrisy. And you are 100 the ethnicity heritage of your ancestors. It has nothing to do with your skin color or languages. It is about where they came from. I've been friends with a Mexican man who's been born and raised in California and doesn't speak a single Spanish word. Doesn't mean he isn't Hispanic though. What a dumb bitch. Woman facepalming medium light skin tone. I on the other hand can claim I am German since I have been born and raised in Germany according to her logic. Upside down face. It called cognitive disassociation. To be honest, it was a perfectly normal conversation and two are triggered cause you got inconvenienced. What she said is wrong. But you posting all of that here might be the most lukewarm embarrassing stuff I've read here. Deep, very deep. I tell folks I'm Heinz 57 very few folks get that joke anymore. OFFS. I'm so sorry your brother didn't use the head up top to choose his partner. I sincerely hope you don't end up with this cringe creature as your Sil weary. You should tell your brother's fiancé that there isn't a single person born and raised in India that can speak fluent Indian. And that people born and raised in China who speak Cantonese and not Mandarin cannot claim to be Chinese. With that level of stupid, I'm sure she'll believe both. Duplicity at its finest. If they have a wedding and you are invited, can you wear a drindle? The world is full of people with cockeyed opinions that like to force them down others' throats. She sounds very ignorant and I would be very offended at that comment as I don't speak my culture's language either. I'd stay clear of her as much as you can. Just came to say your username is fucking badass op. Oh and fuck that chick. I'm half Italian. Speak Italian. But when I'm with my Italian friends from Italy, I say I'm American. But that's because I'm only half Italian. Being fluent in a language doesn't make you any more or less ethnic. Either you are or you aren't. And being half Italian in the US makes me American. I speak Russian since my wife is from Siberia. But I don't say I'm Russian. You have to wonder if she would say the same thing if you didn't look like you were white. She would probably be the one screaming, "Go back to where you came from." The mental gymnastics they employ is mind-boggling to me. I have German heritage and am learning Spanish. What am I? This is painfully confusing. Karen, be like I'm German because my great-grandfather once spoke to a German. But seriously, she isn't German unless she was born and raised there. Well, I'm safe then. All of my relatives are either from Scotland or England, and I speak English. But that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. My wife taught French and she can figure out most of the Romance languages. But then she's scary. Smart. Lol. I got a C in Spanish in high school and don't remember any of it except for the first 2 words in my Spanish book. Hola, Paco. She's not an asshole. She's just a socially unaware, ignorant person. I mean, sure, there are a lot of assholes in the world. But statistically it's more likely they are stupid. Tell her she can't claim to be a bride unless she is a pure virgin. Lol, she sounds dumb. She doesn't consider German an ethnicity? Your brother likes misery. Raising her hand, how? Ask her if she speaks pig Latin. I've been a nurse 30 years. That crazy woman doesn't even scratch the surface. I cringed when Karen giggled and slowly raised her hand. What type of weird behavior? She sounds like she thinks she's cute, but life is not an anime and it isn't cute when people behave like that. Oh man. I read this as wants to marry 100 Korean and I've been confused for a good 5 minutes, lol. Going to re-evaluate now. Who your brother chooses to marry is none of your business. You can point things out to him, but you're best off staying out of it. If he chooses to overlook her ignorance, that's on him. Man, you get Pozole and Mofongo lucky. I don't know how people still think that because you don't look like a certain heritage you can't be of that heritage. Assume your brother needs that challenge or intrigue and would repeatedly reselect it through thousands of choices? Ich bin ein Ausländer. Please remind brother he's not supposed to stick his dick in crazy. He's definitely not supposed to marry it. Hablas Alemán? This might be the most fun you could have had this week. Oh, no sabía que hablabas alemán con fluidez. Sorry, ya G translate has nicht. No me odies. Best of luck. Bud. You good? Unfortunately, he might wake up after they're married and have 3 kids already, so they stay with that person. Or he may never wake up. Pretty deep when you are a Karen. So your brother called out her Karen-ness? Her complete and utter stupidity? Is it possible the fog is starting to lift? Tell him how you feel. Then keep being his friend. Oh no, unamused, that's super no bueno. Be grateful that when you go home, you're not going home to Karen. Unlike your brother. Lol. Maybe Karen wants to marry 100 Chad. Totally read that as, my brother wants to marry a 100 Korean. Was very confused for a bit. What a bitch. That's not a Karen. It's a hypocrite. Learn to smile and nod as your heart breaks for your friend. And don't expect much from Karen. I'm German girl sounds like you're American. Does it also work the other way though? I was born in Hong Kong but don't speak any Cantonese. My parents are Vietnamese. But I only kinda halvesies speak it. So not Vietnamese. That said, I speak English, German, Dutch. Am I a white person now by her math? Living rent-free in your head right now, don't give her the energy. That will change. Or a committed K will leave and go to where she can live the life. It's anything. Really. I know a friend who stopped drinking in the way people stop eating meat because it's bad for you. She almost learned the hardest way about making rules for other people. Just knowing she actually does have a problem. I'm glad her marriage is okay. But she still does this on FB. Her opinion is clearly irrelevant. Face with rolling eyes, she's obviously a wee bit dense. No amount of enemas will ever clean out these assholes. In this day and age with politics and PC culture, you literally could tell me you're Martian and you don't speak the language. I'd be like, okay. That's fine. I only have 2.5 hours before I punch out and go home. That's what PC and culture wars have done to middle and lower class. I read the title as my brother wants to marry a Korean, and after looking at the subreddit was just thinking, damn, sounds kind of racism. People sure are getting bold with their posts nowadays. Well, you brother will be stuck with her, you don't have to be. Us, real Germans would say, Die hat nicht mehr alle Nadeln und der Tan. I remember a movie song from my childhood called Harper Valley PTA. The entire moral lesson of it was that hypocrisy is bad. I think a lot of people missed that lesson. Your brother is Mexican Puerto Rican as well, right? Does she give him pass? So according to your brother's fiancé, a white American woman who is mostly fluent in Spanish, could then claim to be Hispanic simply because I can speak the language? Make it make sense. IDK about either of your takes. I was born in America. Parents born in America. Parents were born in America. But my DNA pegs me as mostly Irish. I don't go around telling everyone I'm Irish. But I guess according to your take, I would have every right to? Good for him. Definitely read Karen as Korean and was confused through basically the whole post. I don't take myself too seriously, and I find that life is so much more enjoyable when I'm not worrying about feelings mine or anyone else's. If you spoke Valley Girl, would that make you a moon unit? A rules for thee but not for me type, huh? Next time she claims to be German, say Mädchen, du laberst Blödsinn. Sounds like she's probably just a few uncomfortable and embarrassing situations away from flipping to woke. Take one for the team and fuck her. Show him that she isn't loyal. Yes, you will have tension for a while, but he will eventually cone to realize he dodged a bullet. Desperate times, desperate measures. She just sounds racist to me. She can't speak German and wasn't born there but claims to be German. But has issues with you claiming to be Hispanic because you don't look the part or speak the languages. Just sounds like she's a diet racist. Thanks guys, I needed a laugh. Your brother really didn't catch on to this. I'm lost. Is he fucking idiot or something? Good luck to him. Should be an interesting 10 or so years before it blows up. I hope she realized what you were implying. We have a Karen in my class at nursing school. She was bad-mouthing another student for getting pregnant during nursing school. So of course I asked, do you want to speak to the manager of pregnancy? Your future sister-in-law is confusing ethnicity, which is genetic, with culture, which is inherited from interacting with your predecessors, and language, which is not necessary to inherit culture. I wish you luck in avoiding her as much as possible. Why did I read the title as 100 Korean lol? I was super confused reading the post. So what does she think then? You just don't have an ethnicity. I'm Greek Cypriot, but I'm not fluent in Greek at all. I only know a few words and how to pronounce certain letters, as my mom grew up in England and only learned Greek from when her parents talked to each other anyway, so I still call myself Greek Cypriot. Plus I grew up in Switzerland and know German fluently but I am not. Oh, also know French fluently but I am not French. I also know Swiss German, but even though I grew up there I do not consider myself Swiss, so this logic makes no sense in ant way. Otherwise I'll be British, which I actually am, German, Swiss and French, so no, I can't with this lady. You are agreeing with me that it's not genetic.